I'm Anil Kumar and this video is for my students. Grade 12 Advanced Functions MHF 4U. Test 4 on polynomial equations and inequalities. Now those of you who have subscribed will receive this on time for the test. Those who haven't may not get a chance to look at it. Here we will discuss few important questions and actually work on strategies which will help you to get good marks. The question here is, write a polynomial function f of x that has a degree of 4, zeros at 1, 2, minus 1 and minus 2, and y-intercept of 4. Determine the value of x where f of x equals to 48. Well, this is a question from your book, and the reason for picking it up is to help you save time when you solve this question in the test. Now first let's figure out how to find equation of the polynomial. That's kind of simpler part. So f of x is a times, or we know we have all zeros which are all linear. Degree is 4, right? 4 zeros, degree 4, all linear zeros. So we can write the equation, and we prefer to write equation in a particular order. So zeros we'll see as minus 2, minus 1, 2 and 1. So we can write the equation as x plus 2, that is 0 at minus 2, x plus 1, 0 at minus 1, x minus 1, 0 at 1, and then x minus 2 is the 0 at 2. Now to find the value of a, we can use the y-intercept, which is of 4. That means f of 0 is 4, right? So a times, we'll put 0 here, so we get 2, 1, minus 1, minus 2, and this value should be equals to 4, the y-intercept, correct? So when you multiply all this, you get minus is minus plus, 2 times 2 is 4, so what you really get is 4a, and 4a is 4 for you, and therefore a is equals to 1, 4 divided by 4. So we can finally write down our equation as 1 times all this. So that is x plus 2 times x plus 1 times x minus 1 times x minus 2. So we quickly get the equation in this fashion. Now the second part is determine the value of x where f of x is equals to 48. I have seen some students plugging in 48 here, expanding, factoring, dividing, and then trying to get an answer, which is very difficult to get. Now the solution for this is very simple. Think about it like sketch kind of a graph in your mind or on a piece of paper. We know that the zeros are at, as you know, minus 2, minus 1, 1 and 2, right? So thinking about it like y-axis I can draw here, and we know y-intercept is kind of somewhere there. And since the leading coefficient is positive, right side up, and degree 4 both on the same sides, correct? So we can always graph this function as kind of like this, correct? Now since we know that the y-intercept is 4, so if you look at it, there we are at 4. These zeros are at minus 2, minus 1, 1 and 2. We are looking now for a value where the function should be 48, right? So we are looking for f of x equals to 48. Clearly this answer is on the right side of 2, correct? Now since it is degree 4, it is actually rising very steeply. Do you see that? So what we should do here at this stage is, I'm doing for now question 2, we can plug in some values and calculate. So let's figure out what is f of 3. Use your calculator, write down the value, and we will do without calculator for the time being. If I write 3 here, I get 3 plus 2, 3 plus 1, 3 minus 1, and 3 minus 2, which is kind of 3 plus 2 is 5 times 4 times 2 times 1, right? 3 times 5 times 4 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40. So at 3 we are actually very close to, let us assume this is the point, very close to 48. Do you see that? So this point is for us 348. Oh sorry, 340, right? So we got 40 at 3. We are looking for 48. So don't try values like 4 or 5. This is degree 4. It has to go up very high. So try the value f of 3.1, 3.2 like that. And you will notice that 3.1 is indeed 48, and that is the answer, right? So the idea is you should try minimum number of values to get to the answer. Avoid expanding this, factoring and all those things, right? Don't do all that. Use your calculator, plug in different values, get the answer. Even if you try f of 4, you'll find a very high number. That is going to give you an idea that your answer should be very close to 3, right? 3 is giving you 40. You need 48. So try 3.1, 3.2, like that. Well, 3.1 is the solution. Anyway, the strategy here is have an idea of what values to try. I hope this strategy helps you. Thank you and all the best.